The most important thing about sainthood to remember is that it's God who makes us saints. And there are times when we make mistakes and we don't do things the right way. But God forgives us and helps us to continue to try to be saint. Because being a saint means when we make mistakes, we try again. So do you think that you all can be saints? Because you already are. Now what I want you to do is to listen to two people in our congregation, St. Nancy and St. Don Ollwerther, who will come and talk to us about generosity and about sainthood at St. Peter's. Nancy and Don.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many people come out to hear our witness. For those of you who don't know us, we are Don and Nancy Ollwerther. We usually attend this service, although our favorite service is the one at 9:30 on the Sundays when we all get together to worship. I'm a lifelong member of St. Peter's Church, having been baptized and confirmed here, and Don and I were married more than 31 years ago here at St. Peter's. I'm also a member of the Stewardship Committee. As a member, I want to emphasize to everyone that this year's Stewardship campaign is more important than ever due to the fact that we are also involved as a congregation in the Building Crossroads Capital campaign. The Journey to Generosity theme is perfect for this year's Stewardship campaign, as we at St. Peter's are on quite a journey together. Previous speakers have defined the meaning of generosity in great detail. And for sure, if you look it up in the dictionary, it's the families of St. Peter's. Along our personal journey, Don and I have been the recipients of your generosity. I must tell you that the generous compassion shown to my mom, Shirley Reed, as her life was declining, made her feel loved and at home here at St. Peter's. Coming to church on Sunday and interacting with people she knew cared about her made her day. She looked forward to Sundays, which explains why at age 90, she drove herself to church when I wasn't around, even though she wasn't supposed to be behind the wheel. But your kindness and continued support toward her were very heartwarming, and it meant a great deal to us. I was humbled by the understanding shown to me when I needed to pull back from my involvement at church while caring for my mom, and the compassion showed to my family as we moved through the grieving process following her death in January will never be forgotten. And Don and I want to thank you, and we hope always to be able to pay it forward.
I haven't been a saint for that long, but I'm kind of liking it so far. I've been a member of St. Peter's Church for approximately 3 years, and prior to that, I was a 50-year member of the First Presbyterian Church of Freehold, the brownstone church on the corner of Brinkerhoff Avenue and West Main Street down the street. However, during this time frame, when Nan and I became a couple, I attended St. Peter's for Sunday worship. And after a period of reflection, I decided that it was time for me to move on uptown, cross the railroad tracks, and become a member of this congregation. As it turned out, this was a very positive change for me. I was impressed with the people that I met here. Joining St. Peter's provided me with an opportunity to meet and become friends with people that I wouldn't ordinarily have had the opportunity to get to know. As a result, my life has become truly enriched through these various contexts. I also found the clergy leadership here at St. Peter's to be something special. In order for a church to survive and flourish, you need positive leadership. Father Dirk, Father Jim, and Deacon Catherine provide that leadership for all of us. For any church to be successful, there needs to be a financial commitment, a time commitment, and a talent commitment. Everyone here today has the potential to be successful in any or all of these commitment areas. Sometimes people feel that if they don't have a lot of time to commit, that a small time commitment would not prove valuable. Nan and I feel that this is a total misconception. We encourage everyone to just say yes. You would be surprised how your time just works out and how transforming it can be. On our journey, we try to be as involved as we can. Talent is another valuable commitment. Yes, there are a lot of talented people here at St. Peter's. However, we are not two of them. Our various talents are quite limited, but that doesn't stop us from volunteering. For example, the call went out for painters for the church pews, and we answered the call with little to no painting ability. In the end, we got the job done and had fun doing it with others who had a lot of painting expertise. It was probably their expertise that helped, because at home we've done some painting and it usually leads to some yelling and carrying on. However, I don't know whether it was the church setting or the people that were working with us that helped us, but everything was calm and cool and we got the job done. So we're tossing the ball to the more talented people that are seated in front of us, and we encourage you to use your God-given talents to benefit the church. People that are willing to volunteer their time and talents are extremely valuable assets. Don't just sit back and say to yourself, if I can't do that, or I don't have enough time or skill, but instead become an active participant in the church offerings. In the end, that might make you feel better as a person and will also benefit the church in countless ways. The last item for a church to be successful is an important one: financial commitment.
I have always felt that we have an obligation to take care of this place. We should do it for our children and our children's children, as those before us have done for us. And we certainly are doing just that, as the success of our capital campaign has shown. However, it is important that these next few years we continue to be generous with our annual pledge commitments. As Father Dirk has said, your annual pledge keeps the engine going and allows us to keep our ministries alive. Our personal financial journey has been a learning experience. When Don and I were younger, we never really gave pledging much consideration. We picked a number that we thought worked for us, and that was our pledge. As we have become more involved and have grown deeper in our faith, we learned the importance of making a pledge that the church could rely on, because yes, there are bills to be paid, and it takes money to keep the lights on, the heat working, and our ministries going. So rather than making our pledge the last thing we figured out, we make it the first thing we determine. You know that God truly loves a cheerful giver. We feel that we have gone from being just card-carrying members of St. Peter's to being cheerful givers. Don and I are working toward tithing because we want to please the Lord. That's our goal, but we can only do it in small steps. So in closing, we want to say that no matter what your steps are in your journey to generosity, what truly matters is that you seek to give generously out of what God has given you. We encourage you to be as generous as you can with your commitment to St. Peter's, including your time, your talent, and your annual financial pledge, and be a cheerful giver. So we thank you all for all that you do for St. Peter's and for listening to us today. Thank you.